Hi everybody, it's Tasty Tuesday and welcome back to my kitchen. And today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite Greek foods, Spanakopita. Spanakopita is one of the very first sort of exotic worldly foods that I learned to make right when I had first gotten married in 1982. I was gifted a subscription to Bon Appetit magazine, which literally changed my life. I really never had cooked before. And every month I would run to the mailbox to see my new edition of Bon Appetit. And I made an entire Greek feast for some friends of ours, all out of Bon Appetit, which really turned me into someone who loves to experiment in the kitchen and particularly to make foods from around the world. And now that we've had the chance to travel so much, of course, I've eaten so many foods in the origin country, and Spanakopita is one of those. We've been to Greece a couple of times and we really love it. So let me tell you a little bit about Spanakopita and how to make it, because it's really, really easy. It's a lovely spring, summer kind of dish, because even though it's sort of a casserole, it's very light and refreshing. It has cheese in it, but it does not have meat. So if you're meatless or choose to do meatless on certain days, it's a great choice for that too. So let's get started. This is 12 ounces of frozen spinach, and I took it out of the freezer this morning, thawed it out, and then in a colander squeezed all the water, as much water as I possibly could, out of it. To that, I am adding 1 chopped onion. You need a little more than a cup of onion. And I have 1 garlic clove already minced. And to that, we are adding 8 ounces of feta cheese, one of my favorite cheeses. I have 1.5 teaspoons of fresh mint. You can use dry. I've done this dish before with dry, but I happen to have some fresh in my fridge. And we're adding 2 eggs. These beautiful eggs came from my friend Mindy. Very nice of her to bring me these beautiful eggs from her ladies. And there we have it. That's the ingredients for the filling. I'm going to mix that all together. Might need to get my hands down in there. And then I'm going to set this aside and show you how we do the filo dough. Now, filo dough, you can see it spelled either P-H-Y or F-I-L-O. It's the same. I've mentioned before in Tasty Tuesday that I'm currently living in a community that I get a little frustrated with the grocery stores, because I don't consider filo dough exotic, but the first grocery store I went to here in my town didn't have it. And actually, when I asked the lady, she didn't even know what I was talking about. But then I went to another supermarket in my town and they did have it. So usually I would say it's pretty easy to find in any supermarket. Okay, that's our filling. Super, super simple. We're gonna set that aside and I'm gonna show you what we do with this filo dough that I had trouble finding. If you've never used filo dough, it usually comes in a package like this, and you can find it most often in the refrigerated pastry or refrigerated dough section of your supermarket, and I've often also found it near the eggs. Now, it dries out really quickly. I have my entire, this is 12 ounces, I believe. Wait a minute, is that right? 16 ounce package. I'm only gonna use about half of that today. I've put a wet towel on top of it so it doesn't dry out too much while I'm working with it. Okay, the other thing, I'm having to wing it today because I can't find my pastry brush. So I'm going to be working just with a paper towel as I put olive oil on top of the pastry. So my casserole dish I've already put olive oil in the bottom. I'm going to take out see how thin it is? It's like paper. 1 filo there, and another one on top of that. And don't worry if it tears. We're going to cover this back up again. By the way, I'm not going to use all of the filo in this package. You can double this recipe easily and use a bigger casserole dish. But I'm just making this for Arnie and I. So that filo can easily go into the freezer. Now, with my makeshift pastry brush, also known as a paper towel, I am covering all of the filo. Not covering, that's probably not the best term. I am just brushing lightly olive oil on my filo here. Sometimes they're hard to get a hold of. There we go. This time, I'm taking this one and I'm going this way. And another one on top of that, going this way. Cover it back up. Here we go again with our paper towel and olive oil. Okay, 2 more sheets. When I was a kid, spinach was always served in a can. Well, honestly, all of our vegetables were served in a can in the 1960s. So I didn't like it back then, but now I'm like Popeye. It's one of my favorite vegetables, fresh, frozen, and even in a can. I eat it that way too. It's power food, just like Popeye. All right, here we are. We now have 6 layers of filo. Our filling goes in here. You could easily double this recipe, remember? Gosh, that smells good. Spread it out, and now I'm going to take my filo, I'm going to fold it in like this. And a little bit more olive oil on top of that. Now this will bake at 325 for 1 hour. However, I'm putting it in the fridge tonight and baking it tomorrow. So here we're going to take 2 more sheets. Oops, tore that one, but it really doesn't matter. That's covering up my filo. So we are going to put more olive oil here. All right, now these top 2 sheets, we're just going to fold them in. Like that. I'm going to just put a tiny bit more olive oil around the edges there. It just will make the filo cook beautiful golden color. How easy is that? There's what it looks like right now. I'm going to cover it with cellophane, put it in the fridge, and tomorrow I'll bake it for an hour and I'll show you how that looks. Meanwhile, I'm going to wrap the rest of my filo up nicely in cellophane, put it in a freezer bag, and put it in my freezer for the next time I make Spanakopita. We'll come back and show you the rest tomorrow. Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. And before I show you our beautiful Spanakopita, I have a correction. Yesterday when we were when I was telling you the ingredients, I said mint. This dish does not have mint in it. It's dill. It's dill, duh. So I apologize. I didn't put mint in here. I put dill in here, but the word mint came out of my mouth when we were doing the video. So 1.5 teaspoons of dill for your spanakopita with the spinach. I don't think mint would be very good in here, so please don't use mint. 1.5 teaspoons of either fresh or dried dill. I used fresh, and now our spanakopita has been in the oven. It was in the refrigerator overnight. You don't have to do that, but that's what I did. I put it in the oven at 325 degrees, so not a super hot oven. And see if I can show you here. Isn't that golden and beautiful? I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It was in the oven exactly an hour. You want to watch it carefully because you don't want it to burn on the top. You don't want the filo dough to burn. And I turned it once during cooking. I had it for 40 minutes and then I turned it all the way around for the last 20. It's been sitting here on the counter for about 5 minutes. Now, don't worry if your slices don't come out just perfect. Some people actually cut it almost through before they even cook it. I didn't do that this time. But it feels nice and firm, so I think we're gonna be okay. This is our dinner tonight and probably our breakfast tomorrow morning too. So let's see if we can get one piece out at least to show you how lovely it is. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. I lost the bottom there a little bit. Let's see if I can get that. Let me try another one. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, isn't that lovely? Spanakopita, spinach, filo, feta cheese. Absolutely beautiful for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. One of my favorite foods from Greece. Super easy to make. I hope you'll try this recipe. Just remember to use dill. I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great week.